He was getting too old for this shit, and he knew it. Under a blanket on the floor were two weapons, a 12-gauge sawed-off pump shotgun and a Remington Model 4 auto rifle in .30-06 caliber. Both weapons were loaded. After he rolled down the left rear window, Tony Anselmo picked up the rifle and cradled it in his arms. He flicked the crossbolt safety off. The shotgun would be easier, but the buckshot pellets might be deflected by the window glass. It would take 2 or 3 shots to be sure, and they didn't have that kind of time. "Okay," he told Vinny. "Get in the next lane, pull up beside his rear bumper, and sit there until you see a right curve coming. Try to let some space open up in front of you." "Got it." Vinny used his blinker to ease into a space in the traffic on his right. That stream was flowing along at 65 to 70 miles per hour, but he was still doing 55, so a space quickly opened as the car in front pulled away. Tony scanned the traffic for police cars. He saw none, nor did he see any cars that might be unmarked cruisers. Harrington was plainly visible, his head about 20 to 25 feet away, his hands in a 10 and 2 position on his steering wheel. He was concentrating on the road ahead, looking neither left nor right. "Looks good. Any time." "Curve coming up, 15 seconds. Get ready." Anselmo scooted to the right side of the car, then leaned left, resting the barrel of the rifle on the ledge of the open window. "I'm ready." 5 seconds. Anselmo concentrated on the open sights of the rifle. This was going to be a shot at a bouncing, moving target, smaller than a basketball at a range of about a dozen feet, from a bouncing, moving platform. Not a difficult shot, but tricky. An easy shot to miss and wonder why. "Here we go." Anselmo felt the engine rev. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw they were gaining on Harrington's Chrysler. Then they were there. Right alongside, passing with a 3 or 4 mile per hour edge, Harrington's head plainly visible. Tony could feel the centrifugal force pushing him toward Harrington's car, feel the Chevy heel slightly. Tony swung the rifle gently, adjusting for the jolts of the car. His finger tightened on the trigger. Harrington's head exploded as the rifle bellowed. Vinny floored the accelerator and the Chevy began to pull away. As expected, with a dead hand at the wheel, Harrington's car eased left toward the concrete median barricade. "Get by! Get by!" Tony shouted. In the car immediately behind Piaggi, the horrified passenger screamed at her horrified husband behind the wheel. He swerved right as far as he could and still stay in his lane. It wasn't enough. The rear end of Harrington's decelerating Chrysler swung ponderously into the traffic lane as the front ground spectacularly on the concrete barrier. The left rear fender of the maroon Chrysler kissed the left front corner of the swerving vehicle, a gentle impact that merely helped the Chrysler complete its 180-degree spin. The wife screamed and the husband fought the wheel as their car swept past the Chrysler, which, with its entire right side in contact with the barrier, rapidly ground to a smoking halt as pieces of metal showered the interstate. In the back seat, the 2 teenagers cursed and looked back at the receding Chrysler. The wife's screams died to sobs. "Did you see that man shooting, Jerry? Carrie? My God!" Behind the wheel of his car, Jerry McManus of Owasso, Michigan, strove manfully to keep the vehicle going down the highway in a straight line as he began to feel the full effects of a massive adrenal shock. In front of him, the white sedan that contained the gunman accelerated and pulled away. A moment later, another vehicle, a van, swung left into the widening gap and McManus lost sight of the gunman. Jerry McManus had just been driving down the road on the way back to the motel, comfortably following these 2 cars at 55 miles per hour, while all the locals played NASCAR in the right lanes and the kids in the back seat hassled each other and his wife gabbled on about her rich great-aunt who lived in Arlington or someplace. Owasso, Michigan didn't have any freeways, and even if it had, McManus wouldn't have driven them, living as he did immediately behind the gas station that he owned. But now, on the big annual vacation, the pilgrimage to the tourist traps of Washington, D.C., that his wife had insisted upon, it will broaden